jostle it. Welcome to Deep Power, everybody. Those of you that are here with me in this room, and those of you out there, or maybe you'll watch it sometime this week, and that's fine. I have to say I've really enjoyed these live classes and actually seeing students face to face, albeit from a distance, right? And I think something that we're really hungry for these days is a sense of community, right? And a sense of connection. And so I think it's really important to do that in whatever way we can. It's really easy right now with everything that's going on to feel really isolated and alone. And so I think this is just a good reminder to all of us that we're still here, we're still living and moving and breathing, and we can still practice together to some capacity. So thank you for being here, you guys. Go ahead and find your seat, and let's take a moment here to just let the eyes close, turning the attention and the gaze inward. And starting our practice here with a moment or two in stillness. And giving yourself full permission to arrive here exactly as you are. There's no need to change anything or to be or to feel a certain way. Can you make a little bit of space and permission to feel and to experience whatever it is that you're feeling in this moment? And if you are familiar with Ujjayi breath, you can begin that gentle engagement using the muscles at the back of your throat to draw the breath in and out of the body, kind of making this oceanic sound or whisper as you breathe in this way. And Ujjayi breath, it means victorious breath. So there's a quality of victory and strength using this method of breathing. And invite a quality of breath that's pleasing to you, that's pleasant to you. And then on your next in-breath, let's go ahead and extend the right arm up, stretch up tall, lengthen, and then reach up and over into a nice deep side bend, side stretch. Lengthening along the right arm and the ribs and the side body. Let your head relax a little bit here over toward the shoulder. Take another breath here. And then let's take 3 large circles with this right arm. So just circle the right arm, exploring that movement and opening and range of motion through this right arm and shoulder. Good. And then stretch it back up as tall as you can and release the right fingertips to the floor. Good. Left arm will stretch up, reach up tall, come up and over into your nice deep side bend, side stretch. Lengthening into the left arm and the ribs and the side body. Good. Take another breath here. And then let's go ahead and draw 3 large circles here with the left arm, moving through the shoulder. Good, you guys. And then as you're ready, we'll stretch it back up, lengthen as tall as you can, and release the hand to the floor. Bring your hands behind you, uncross your legs, like this. Roll your shoulders back a little bit, and we're going to pick up the right foot, cross the ankle up and over the left leg. So you're coming into a seated version of pigeon or figure 4 stretch. Flex your right toes back, press your right knee forward just a little bit, kind of away from the body, and then rock side to side. So you're bringing a little bit of movement and opening and range of motion through your right hip. And you could scooch in a little bit closer if you have that available to you this morning. Take another full breath. And then we're going to collapse the left leg down into a double pigeon. You're welcome to put a block between the knee and the ankle, or if this is a little bit out of the realm of possibility this morning, you could extend your bottom leg forward and just hold on to this right leg. Okay? So we're going to try to flex the toes back. The shins parallel, ankle over knee, knee over ankle. Fingertips can support from behind as you draw both knees and thighs down. Lift up through your heart and through your chest. Awesome, you guys. Take another full breath here. And then let's try to bring it forward. So you're going to walk the fingertips out in front of the shins. If that's not available, don't worry about it. You can keep the hand supporting you from behind. And let's take about 3 more breaths here. Keep your toes flexed back toward your shins as you start to fold a little bit more over the legs. Looks good, you guys. Take 1 more huge breath here down into your hips. Send a sigh out your mouth and just let it cleanse. Good. Come back up. Bring your hands back behind you. You'll uncross your legs and just windshield wiper side to side a couple times. So you're just kind of flushing it out, bringing some movement here. Good. And then let's take that whole thing on the other side. So knees back up. You'll pick up your left foot and ankle, cross it up and over the right leg. Remember to flex your left toes back, protecting the knee, and gently press your left knee and thigh forward, away from the body, and then rock side to side. Good. And really this is, all of these things that we're doing is an invitation to feel and to be in your body. So we're not trying to force anything or get anywhere in particular. So see if you can tune in to each breath and each sensation. And then again, we're going to collapse this bottom leg down into what's called Agni Stambhasana, or fire log pose, this double pigeon. So again, you could put a block between your knee and your ankle right here, or extend this bottom leg forward. Okay, protecting the knees here by flexing the toes back. Bring the fingertips behind you, draw your thighs down and your knees down, and lift up through your chest. Good. And you will probably have one side that's a little more accessible than the other. And then take another breath here, and we'll start to come into this fold. So walk your fingertips out in front of you if that's available, and start to fold into this double pigeon. Keep your breath steady and consistent. Let's take one more giant breath here down into your hips and send a sigh out your mouth and let it cleanse. Good. Bring it back upright. Hands behind you. You're going to uncross your legs and windshield wiper side to side. There's nothing like double pigeon right out of the gate. Right, you guys? Hopefully Anastasia didn't do that yesterday, or did she? Okay, good. Ha, ha, ha. All right. Come forward to your hands and your knees. And we're just going to take some hip circles. So move your hips, move your pelvis in a large circle going clockwise. So all the way back towards your heels and over to the left, forward towards your wrists and to the right. So this should feel pretty good after starting with that double pigeon pose. Lean into the stretch if you feel like a really nice opening or sensation. And then pause and let's go the other direction, moving counterclockwise. Good, nice job, you guys. Last breath here. And let's go ahead and come up to hands and knees and make our way into our first downward facing dog. So push with your palms, lift your hips up, and stretch your thighs back a little bit. Belly in and up as we continue to breathe here. This first downward dog. Feel free to walk it out a little bit. I think the first down dog of practice, it's a nice invitation to move around, to kind of get your bearings a little bit, and then find a place where you can ground and settle. So a place for you that feels balanced, that feels like a nice blend of ease and effort. Using your core strength, your abdominals to support the body here instead of the neck and the shoulders. So let's take 2 more full breaths here. See if you might lift up gently just a little bit through your tailbone. Good. And then bend your knees, look forward, and take a step or light hop forward towards your hands, coming into a forward fold, the top of your mat. Lengthen your spine as you inhale, coming to that halfway lift. Exhale, fold back in. Relax and release your neck and your jaw. That much again. Inhale, extend forward, lengthen. Exhale, fold back in. Good. Feel your feet on the ground. And let's come all the way up to standing. So as you root down, stretch and lengthen up through the arms. Maybe a little mini back bend here. And then exhale, hands together, heart center. And let's take the arms back up on in-breath. Reach up and lengthen. Exhale, dive forward, big swan dive. Take your time to get there. Bend your knees as much as you'd like. Fold it in. Lengthen your spine as you inhale, so chest and belly lift away from the thighs, crown forward. Let's take hands to the floor and step to plank pose, upper push-up. Hold here for a couple of breaths. You're welcome to send this directly to down dog or come to your knees for a little more support. Take another full breath here, and then if you're willing, let's lower down chaturanga, slow and steady. Come all the way down to the belly, and then open up into your version of Cobra. Stay here for an extra breath. You're welcome to take Sphinx or Up Dog, opening through the heart here. And then exhale, let's press it back to downward facing dog. Take your time. There's no rush to get anywhere. Again, each pose, each asana
is an invitation to be in the body, to feel whatever there is to be felt. And notice how it changes and shifts moment to moment, never quite repeating itself. Taking one more breath here in this downward dog. Bend your knees, look forward, step or hop forward, top of the mat. Extend your spine, so lengthen, halfway lift, maybe a little bend in your knees. Fold it in as you exhale. Anchor the feet, come all the way up to standing. That reverse swan dive, reach up. Again, maybe a little mini back bend, and then hands back, heart center. Let's take the arms back up on in-breath, stretch up tall, and then bend your knees and sit into a chair pose, Utkatasana, or fierce pose. See if you can sit back just a little bit deeper. We're going to move a little bit in this chair. So on exhale, we're going to drop chest and belly toward the thighs, reach the arms back behind, and maybe even lift up through the heels of the feet. And then ground your heels and inhale, come back up to your regular chair. Let's do that again. So exhale, you drop down and maybe lift your heels. And then inhale, drop your heels and bring it back up. Good. One more of these. Exhale, drop down, maybe lift your heels. And then inhale, ground your heels and lift up. This time we're going to exhale and take it all the way into Uttanasana, or forward fold. Lengthen out your spine on your inhale, halfway lift, plant your hands. You can step or hop your way into Chaturanga. Lower down if you haven't already, and then open up into your Cobra or up dog, and then downward facing dog. Feel into the ground through both hands, and then with mindful awareness, stretch your right leg back behind you, reach it up. Let's take a couple of breaths here, feeling into the ground firmly with both hands, left heel moving a little bit closer toward the floor, right toes reaching back and lifting up a little higher. Use your core here. Pull your right knee in toward your chest and step your foot all the way through into a lunge. Let's ground this back knee for this first lunge and extend and lengthen up through the arms. So you're welcome to pad that back knee with a cushion or a blanket if that's helpful. Bend your elbows here. Squeeze inner thighs toward your center, your midline. Lift your chest up, deepen into the lunge, and lean back. Take another cleansing breath here. And then re-extend the arms up. I'm going to bring the hands to the floor. Pick up the back knee. Step forward into a standing split. So the left leg will float up as you fold over this right leg. Fingertips can be on the floor or blocks, or maybe you wrap your right hand and forearm behind your calf and fold it in, forehead toward your shin. Take 2 more breaths here. Lengthen and reach up through those toes. Good, you guys. And then step that left foot back. Make sure your right knee is centered over the ankle. Left hand to the floor. Send your right arm up for a twist. Now, the back knee can always come down to the floor for a little bit of support. Or if you're really feeling it this morning, you could stay really strong in your legs, unweight your left hand from the floor. You could bring it to the heart or elbow to knee. So whatever version of this twist, take 2 more breaths, maybe deepen into that lunge a little bit, open through the heart. Exhale, right hand down. step it back, plank pose, strong through your belly and legs and core, lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Cobra or up dog, lift and open, exhale, downward facing dog. All right, my dears, with mindful awareness, left leg in the air, stretch it back and lift it up. This mindful movement, stay strong in your arms, lifted with your core. The right heel might move a little bit closer to the ground as the left leg lifts a little higher. Last breath here. Exhale, pull your left knee in toward your chest. Step it through, come down to your back knee. Pad the knee if that's helpful, and then send your arms up. Strong through your core, feel into this lunge, reaching up tall. Bend your elbows, so goalpost the arms. Lift up through the chest, maybe deepen into this lunge. Take one more full breath here. And then re-extend up. Bring the hands down to the floor. Pick up your back knee and step forward into your standing splits. Left foot rooted down, right leg reaching up. Again, fingertips can be on the floor or blocks, or maybe you wrap your left hand and forearm back around the calf and fold it in. Active through those right toes. Couple more breaths here. See if you can reach up just a little bit higher with that right leg. Good. And then gently step it back. Right foot to the back of your mat. Center the left knee over your ankle. Right hand on the ground. Left arm stretching up for your twist. Now again, your back knee can come down or keep it lifted for a little extra effort here. You might unweight your right hand. You can bring it to the heart or bring elbow to knee. Take one more cleansing breath here. Open through your chest toward that left side. Exhale, left hand down. Step it back, plank pose, your choice, chaturanga, or directly to down dog. Lower down if you're moving in that direction. Open and lift the heart. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Take another full breath here. Bend your knees and look forward. Step or hop, top of the mat. Elongate the spine on your inhale and exhale, fold. Good. All the way up to standing, everybody. Stretch tall. Reach up. Again, maybe slightly back behind. And then hands together. Heart center. Good. So I'm going to turn and face you guys. We're going to work with one-legged chair today or standing pigeon. So you might want to take, if you have blocks, you might want to put them out in front of you just in case. It can't hurt. It might help. It may not, but it's fine. Okay, so you're going to pick up your right foot, cross the ankle up above the knee, and let's bring the hands to the hips for this first little bit. Bend your standing leg. So you're coming into a standing balance in this pigeon pose. It's similar to what we did at the very beginning of class. Sit just a little bit deeper here, and then extend the arms forward alongside your ears. Now, we want to make sure that we're not sinking this right hip down, which we tend to do to get out of sensation. So lift this right hip up and instead pull both thighs back, like you're really trying to sit back into an imaginary chair. Let's take another breath here. Keep the right foot flexed back. Bring your hands down to the foot and the knee like this.
And you can kind of push like you're trying to compress your right shin bone. And then fold over, chest toward the shin. Maybe that's your pose. Or you can bring your fingertips to the ground or blocks. You can start to straighten out your front leg a little bit. Continue to lift your right hip and sits bone up as you fold. 2 more breaths. And then let's bend again into your standing leg. Try to come back into your balance, into your chair. And then release, bring the foot down, bring the arms down, shake it out, walk it off. But stay in your sector, you guys. Don't step out of your tape marks. Yeah. You guys at home can do whatever you want. It's fine. Whatever. All right. So let's try the other side. That same thing. So hands to hips. And we're going to pick up the left foot. Cross the ankle over top the knee, one-legged chair. Bend your standing leg. Notice if this left hip kind of dropped. Pick it back up. Pull both thighs back. Notice the difference there. And then extend the arms forward in this one-legged chair. That looks awesome, everybody. Take another breath. Hands come down to the sole of the foot and the knee. And kind of push, like you're trying to push the knee and the foot a little bit closer and start to bring your chest closer to your shin. And then maybe your hands come down to the floor or blocks. Fold it in. You can straighten up your standing leg a little bit. Notice your left hip, if it's kind of sinking down, lift it back up. Pull both thighs back. Take another breath. And then bend your standing leg. Let's come back up to this balance, one-legged chair. Good. And then release. Bring your foot down, your arms down. Again, get your wiggles out. Whatever you got to do. Good job, you guys. Okay, let's come back up to the top of the mat. And inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Good. Flat back as you inhale, lengthen. Now you're going to set up for what's called Bakasana or crow pose. So you might want to step back just a little bit, move the hands toward the very top of your mat, and start to shift the weight toward the hands. Pick up the heels of your feet and work your knees towards your armpits or triceps up really high. Now lean forward a little bit, put a little bend in your elbows, use your core, float your feet off of the mat, coming into this arm balance or crow pose, Bakasana. Take another breath. Bring your feet back to the floor, turn the toes out just a little bit, and drop your hips into what's called Malasana, the squat pose. You can sit on a block if that's helpful, or have your heels off the mat if they need to be. Take another breath. And then we're going to try that one more time. Okay, so crow pose, hands to the floor. You can pick up your hips, shift your weight into your hands, and float your feet off of the mat. And if you need to, you could put a block out in front of you to rest your forehead. Take another breath, and then make your way to plank pose. You can step or jump it back, lower down, chaturanga. Open up, cobra or up dog, and then downward facing dog. Nice, you guys, good job. Take your right leg in the air, reach it up. This time we're going to bend the leg, lift the hip. Take an extra breath here, and step the right foot through. And we're going to set up for a warrior two pose. Okay, so right toes forward Extend and lengthen out through the arms. Shoulders soft away from the ears. Turn the palms up toward the ceiling. Put a little bend in your elbows and then deepen into that lunge. So really dig deep. Your torso, your spine, lengthened and upright. Take one more breath here. Arms will come down. Clasp your hands behind your back. So open up through your chest. Stay in your lunge here. Coming into Ostrich Pose or Humble Warrior. So we're going to keep the feet grounded, right shoulder toward the right knee. Root down with that left foot at the back of your mat as you start to fold a little bit deeper. Continue to draw both thighs back, similar to what we were doing when we were in that one-legged chair pose. Take 2 more breaths here. And we're going to release the clasp, bring the hands down. Now the legs are going to stay exactly the same, warrior 2 legs, but we're going to walk the hands forward off of the mat a little bit to the left side and then forward kind of toward the diagonal. So still in warrior 2, push into the floor with your hands, continue to draw the thighs back. The right knee still moves forward. Take one more breath here. Awesome job, you guys. Walk your hands to your left and spin your right toes. So now you're coming into Prasarita Padottanasana. Take an inhale and lengthen. And an exhale to fold. 5 deep breaths here. Make sure you feel really grounded and rooted through the inner and outer edges of your feet. Last breath here. And let's go ahead and lengthen to a halfway lift. Root through your feet and connect to your core. Exhale, bring hands to hips and come all the way up to standing. Beautiful. Turn the right toes forward, back toward the front of the room. And re-extend the arms, setting up for triangle pose. So push with your back foot, reach forward, try to get the torso long, right hand down to shin or ankle or block, left arm stretches up. Spread through the arms here. Good. Take another cleansing breath. Good. Gaze down at the floor, Ardha Chandrasana or half moon. So shift into this balance, push into the floor with your right foot, almost like you got stuck in a cartwheel, right? So you're frozen there, like someone just took a picture. And breathe here. Spread out through all 4 limbs. Reach through, especially through the left toes and the left fingertips. Take one more breath here. Exhale, left hand down. Step back to a lunge. Left foot to the back of the mat. Now the right leg will stretch back. Reach it up. Bend your right leg. Open up the hip. Take your right knee to your right elbow. Okay, a little bit of core here. Maybe hold for a breath, or you could do a little push-up. And then extend the leg back again. Reach it up. Now you're going to cross your right knee over to touch your left elbow. Little twist, maybe a little push-up. Take your leg back, reach it up. And this time you're going to take it all the way into pigeon. So take your right knee towards your right hand, flex your toes back, square off the hips, lift up through your chest, lengthen your torso. If it's in your practice here, you could really squeeze the legs toward one another and float the arms. That may or may not be for you. Wear the size that fits, and then walk your hands forward and fold. Good, you guys. We're going to take about 5 more breaths here. If it's helpful, you can send a sigh out your mouth and let it go. And let's all make our way back up. Go back to a downward facing dog. So stretch it out in any way that you need to here. That right leg and right hip. Send your left leg back. Reach it up tall. Bend your left leg. Open through your hip. And then step your left foot through into a warrior 2. So your back heel will turn flat to the floor, and you'll extend and lengthen out through the arms. Good, you guys. Strong in your warrior pose, grounded through your feet. Let's go ahead and turn both palms up. Again, put a soft bend in your elbows, up the shoulders. Relax down, away from the ears. Take another full breath here. And then exhale, the arms will come down. Clasp your hands behind your back. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. And then on exhale, go ahead and dive forward into this ostrich pose or humble warrior. The thighs continue to draw back, root down, especially with your right foot at the back of your mat as you fold it in. Take another full breath here. And gently release the clasp. The legs stay exactly the same, but we're just going to walk the hands forward off of the mat, kind of toward the right diagonal. And so push into the floor as you continue to draw the thighs back. You're still in that warrior 2 stance. It's almost like a down dog meets a lunge. Take one more breath here. And then let's walk the hands over to the right. Spin the left toes, parallel your feet for Prasarita Padottanasana. Flat back as you inhale. Exhale, fold. So any version you'd like to take here. You could keep the hands on the floor. You could unweight your hands. Clasp your hands behind your back. If you're familiar with a headstand transition, you could work with that, bringing the head and the forearms and elbows to the floor, unweighting the feet, and taking the legs either in a straddle or all the way up. Couple more breaths. Good, and then let's lengthen to that halfway lift. Connect to core, bring your hands to your hips. Come all the way up to standing. Good. Left toes turn forward. Re-extend the arms out. Triangle. So reach forward with the left arm and the fingertips, left hand down to shin or ankle, right arm stretching up. Huge breath here along the spine and torso and ribs, spread through the arms. Take one more breath here. Gaze down at the floor. Let's come into a balance, Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Again, like you got stuck in a cartwheel here, just frozen there. Breathe, reaching through the right arm, fingertips, and toes. Take another strong breath here in this balance. And then exhale back down. Step back to your lunge.
Unweight your left leg and send it back behind you. Reach it up. Bend your leg, open through your hip. And then bring your left knee to your left elbow. Little core here. Maybe do a little push-up. And then send your leg back, reach it up. And then left knee over to your right elbow. Maybe a little push-up here. Send the leg back one more time. And then bring your left leg into Pigeon Pose. So you could always take Reclined Pigeon on your back. If you want to work with this little lift, squeeze inner thighs toward center line, connect to core, and weight your hands. A little bit of a heart opener here. Last breath. And then release. Walk your hands forward and fold. Going to take about 5 more deep breaths here in your pigeon. Notice where you can soften and release tension. And finding your own personal edge of sensation. And if it's helpful, you can send that last exhale out your mouth, the cleansing sigh. Good. And then make your way back up. And stretch it back to downward facing dog. Good. And then go ahead and come down to your knees. And we are going to work this morning with Flying Pigeon Pose. Okay, so we're going to kind of combine pigeon and crow together. You're welcome to watch the demo and then work with it, or if you want to just jump into it, that's fine too. If this is just not for you this morning, you can just work with regular crow or side crow. Okay, so those are some options if you're familiar with those. So we'll start. I'll show you the side view. I think it's a little bit more effective. So starting with this one-legged chair, as we did earlier, and continuing to pull the right hip up and pull the thighs back. And then from here, we'll start to fold it in. And we'll try to get our elbows to our shins like this. And the palms can come together. Maybe this is your pose and you can just hang out here. Or you can slide the triceps down, flex the right toes around the left arm and take the hands to the floor. And as you do that, you'll lean into it, make a little shelf with your arms, and then pick up the left foot. And then maybe extend this leg. Oh, and also breathe. I forgot to breathe a little bit. Okay. All right, team, let's do it. Stand up. If you already did it, then, well, good for you. So I'll face forward this time. So go ahead and pick up your right foot, cross ankle over top the left leg. Sit into your one-legged chair. Good. Extend through the arms. And you can stop anywhere along the way. Hands come down, and you're going to fold over this right leg. Maybe get your elbows in front of the shin. You could stay there, or drop your triceps down, bring your hands down, and make a little shelf Lean into it and maybe pick up your left foot or extend the leg. Let's see what's going on. Nice, Kathy. Nice, Mary Jo. Yay. I can call out names, right? Yeah. Nice, Anne. David Griswold. Excellent. Jenny. All right, said everybody's name. All right, you'll probably have a good side and a crappy side, like kind of like our personalities, you know what I'm saying? Okay, all right, let's take the other side. I'm going to turn this direction. So we'll pick up the left foot, cross ankle over knee, hands to hips, sit back into your chair, and then maybe bring it forward, elbows in front of the shins, flex your toes back, maybe drop a little bit closer, hands to the floor, out in front of you, lean into it, make a little shelf, pick up your foot, maybe extend the leg. See, I can't really extend the leg on that side, but that's fine. Good, you guys. Yeah, and some of you are bringing your heads to blocks, which is a nice option, bringing your head down to the block. Good. All right, you guys are the best. All right, for better or for worse, this is what we're going to do, guys. I'm going to turn my mat this way. We are going to come into a frog pose. So, yes, we are. Do not complain about it. So I like to flip over the edges of my mat like this for some extra padding. Okay? And what you'll do is bring your knees up to the top edge of your mat and then out wide, so the knees are on the doubled up sides of, or edges of your mat. Flex your feet back. This actually looks like a frog. It resembles what it's called, right? So flex your toes back so that your toes are pointing out away from one another and your shins are parallel with those side edges of your mat. And then what you'll do is come down to your elbows or your forearms. If you need a little padding for that, you can use a blanket or whatever you've got handy. So let your head relax. And then you'll push gently your hips back, like you're trying to eventually sit down in between your heels. So on your inhale, really draw the breath down into the hips, hip flexors, and groin. As you exhale, maybe sit a little bit deeper. Now, if this is painful at all for your knees, I'd like for you to come onto your back and take a happy baby pose instead. Okay, so no sharp pain here. We're going to stay for about 5 more breaths. So continue to breathe into that space where you might feel the most resistance here. Good. Last breath here. Find your edge. And the easiest way to get out of this pose is to shift your hips forward. Yeah, exactly like that. But Kathy, just come all the way down to your belly. And you can bend your legs and even kind of windshield wiper. Good. Awesome. All right, let's make our way onto our backs. And if those of you familiar with cow face pose, we're going to be doing what's called flying cow or reclined cow. So you're going to cross your right leg all the way up and over your left. So thigh over thigh, like you're a polite lady sitting in a chair, right? And then you'll pick up your left foot. So both feet are off of the mat. And if you're able, kind of like we do for Happy Baby, you're going to reach up and grab the outer edges of the feet. Keep your thighs squeezing tightly together, your knees together. Try to pull your sacrum and tailbone toward the floor. Keep the feet flexed back. And then with your hands on the outer edges of your feet, you're going to try to draw both feet a little bit closer to your shoulders. Give this a couple more breaths. Good. And then release the feet, uncross your legs. Before we take the other side, take the feet to the floor about the width of your mat, stretch your arms out, and windshield wiper side to side. A couple times here. Good. And then back up, and we'll take left leg over right, so thigh over thigh, knees together. Pick up your feet, flex your feet back, see if you can grab a hold of the outer edges of your feet for this flying cow face pose, or like Supta Gomukhasana. Flexing the feet back, keep your knees and your thighs glued together. Try to draw your tailbone down and then your feet toward your shoulders. Good. Take a couple more cleansing breaths here. Awesome. Unwind, uncross out of that. Feet again to about the outer edges of your mat. Arms out wide. Windshield wiper. Side to side. And then back up, bring the soles of the feet together into Supta Padottanasana, Reclined Cobblers Pose. Bless you. You can bring your hands to your hips or your low belly or wherever makes sense to you. Just take 5 to 10 settling breaths here. Been doing a lot of hip work in practice today. This area of second chakra, this place of emotion and pleasure, the quality of water, that's the element of second chakra. And so just take a moment just to feel what's been cultivated there during practice. And certainly if there's anything else for your practice this morning, you can work into that, an inversion or a back bend or a spinal twist. But whenever you are ready, you can allow the body to settle into Shavasana or corpse pose. And so take some time, if you
if you need an additional pose or two. And as we settle into our final relaxation, Shavasana or corpse pose, I'd like to remind us all of the Gayatri Mantra, which is one of the oldest known Hindu prayers or mantras. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varanyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dio Yona Prachodayat. And the translation is this: everything on the earth and in the sky and in between is all arising from one effulgent source. If my thoughts, words, and deeds reflected a complete understanding of this unity, I would be the peace I am seeking in this moment. If I reflected a complete understanding of this unity, I would be the peace I am seeking in this moment. Feel your breath expanding and contracting in the body. Start to move a little bit as you are ready. And you can gently make your way over to your side into a fetal position. And then back up to your seat. And we'll extend the arms all the way up, reaching up tall, and then hands together, the heart. And acknowledging the unity and the connection in all that lives. Let's finish with one round of Om. Take a full breath in. Namaste.